Hong Kong is an interesting topic, and the mainstream media is doing decent coverage of it, I am surprised to say. Today, there are 3 articles I wanted to just thumb through, say some things about today with Hong Kong. The first one is a, rather interesting science fiction looking picture of a bunch of armored vehicles. And this article, before we look at the picture here, satellite photos show what appear to be armored personnel carriers and other vehicles belonging to the China paramilitary People's Armed Police, the PAP, in a sports complex of Shenzhen, in what some have interpreted as a threat from Beijing to use increased force against pro-democracy protesters across the border in Hong Kong. And I just think this photo is amazing. It's like everything wonderful about the cyberpunk science fiction novels I used to read come to life. That's not really a good thing because they were all depressing and terrible. But I thought we could take a closer look at this picture because it's very, just makes me happy, I guess. And that is about as good as I can get with this interface here. But, as you can see, there are dozens of these things around this sports arena. That's, seems a little bit authoritarian to me. You roll in with the military equipment, armed personnel. I know that it's called a police force, but sort of looks like a military occupying force to me. What do you think? The next article I wanted to look at. Elliot Engel, Michael McCall condemned China threats as unrest in Hong Kong grows. Bipartisan U.S. concern over the discord in Hong Kong is growing, as the State Department on Wednesday issued a travel warning for the region. The bipartisan leaders of the House Foreign Affairs Committee on Wednesday condemned Chinese authorities' hostility to protesters and threats of military intervention in a joint statement, warning that should Beijing attempt to use force to shut down peaceful demonstrations, they would be met with universal condemnation and swift consequences. Third article. Hong Kong protests. U.S. lawmakers warn China may be preparing Tiananmen Square-style crackdown. U.S. officials warned Wednesday that China could be preparing for a Tiananmen Square-style crackdown in response to Hong Kong protests. As footage captures the menacing movement of military convoys near the border and Beijing ratchets up its rhetoric towards the demonstrators. House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Elliot Engel, Democrat of New York, and Ranking Member Michael McCall, Republican Texas, issued a statement Wednesday urging Beijing to not repeat history with another brutal crackdown. Again, I'm reading from allsides.com. These articles I picked are a right-leaning, a left-leaning, and a center-leaning source. If you'd like to check out All Sides, just go to allsides.com, type in Hong Kong, and you will get an excellent trifecta breakdown. It will show you news from the center, and then you got news from the left, news from the right. And like I always encourage my viewers, don't just trust one source. Read a bunch of sources. Listen to a bunch of commentators from different leanings or from different camps about any topic. And I think that factual news, like just what's going on in Hong Kong, should be no different. Because we can't really trust any single media pundit or journalist anymore. They're all going to have their own slant, their own bias, their own narrative that they want to uphold with everything they make, even factual-based journalism. So that's why I like sites like All Sides. It makes my job of trying to let the truth simmer to the top after all the stuff I read about one topic a lot easier. So big ups to allsides.com here. I know you've heard me talk about it before. I just really like it. But regardless, these 3 articles I will be linking in the comments below. So let's make this picture big and just leave it on screen while I talk here. Let's check OBS and see if that's in a good spot. I could do better than that. There we go. Much better. So, what do you think about Hong Kong and the protests? I personally think it would be a disaster for the UK to get involved. The UK right now is weak and fractured. It can't even get its shit together to do Brexit. I don't think that the government of the UK has the moxie, has the balls to do anything against China. They are locking up their citizens and fining their citizens for hateful tweets and misgendering angry Twitter trannies. Do you really think they have what it takes to lock horns with China over something serious as Hong Kong's emancipation? I seriously doubt that. I think if the UK got involved, it would spell immediate disaster for them and probably not end up well for Hong Kong. That being said, do you think that the UK should ally with other Western powers, specifically the United States, and perhaps make a unified front to stand with Hong Kong and push back against the authoritarianism of China? Or do you believe America should act alone, perhaps using some kind of financial or military posturing to force the authoritarian encroachment of Hong Kong back? Or do you think that America should do nothing? Do you think the West should do nothing? Do you think that it would be better for Hong Kong to let them sort their own problems out? Seems like a Herculean task going up against the entirety of China when you're landlocked with them, and all you have is one city. That being said, Hong Kong does have a lot of financial and political sway. It has the attention of the Western Hemisphere, which is worthy of note when it comes to soft power for sure. Do you think that they should do something even more radical? Perhaps seek emissary with Taiwan. See if Taiwan would be interested in having a land-based, not really foothold, that's not the right word, but a land-based piece of the Taiwan separatists. What do you think? I don't know what would be the best for Hong Kong. I am not very familiar with Hong Kong, and I'm not well read on the subject. I'm getting that way today, though. V made an excellent video. Well, he's talked about it several times, but this morning he made an excellent video that I liked about Beijing, so about Hong Kong. So I figured I would read about it more today. And that led me to allsides.com, and of course I love all sides and like to share truth, so I thought I would make a quick video about it and ask my viewers what they thought the likely outcomes and the best course of action to help Hong Kong would be. I believe in core liberal values, and that doesn't mean an analog to leftism. I mean the actual tenets of liberalism itself. I like the concept of civic liberties. I like the concept of a libertarian government arrangement instead of an authoritarian government arrangement. I suppose I'm a diehard liberal of the Western world, so to speak. I think those things matter for the progress of humanity. So, of course, I am opposed to the modus operandi of authoritarian states, and it doesn't get much more authoritarian than China. So, I am innately opposed, but at the same time, Hong Kong is just a city, and it is landlocked there in China. It is arguably part of China already, despite the existing treaty arrangement with the UK. I don't have a good answer. I'm not well read enough to have a firm opinion of what any entity should do about the situation, but I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think about the Hong Kong situation, and if there are particular Reddits or live streams or journalists that you think I should follow to become more directly informed about Hong Kong, put those in the comments below too. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your attention, and as always, trust no one. Till next time.